do you think about Jake Paul, Anthony Joshua?
Boy. Well, realistically, it's one of the craziest propositions of all time. You take a guy who just had a boxing match that looks like a sparring match with a 58-year-old Mike Tyson, and then you're going to fight one of the absolute scariest knockout artists in the heavyweight division. Maybe we should watch the Francis Ngannou fight so you could see. Let's watch that real quick, just so you can see what Anthony Joshua is capable if he's fighting someone that's not in his league. Okay, look, Usyk beat him, and he beat him twice, and Andy Ruiz caught him in the first fight and dropped him and stopped him. It was spectacular. Andy Ruiz is super fucking talented. Usyk is perhaps the greatest heavyweight boxer of all time. Maybe one of the greatest of all time in any weight class. Usyk.
Yeah, but that's what he's trying to do, though, Simon. I think he's at that stage of his career where he's trying to rediscover a little bit of that confidence. He's gone to Oleksandr Usyk, where we're hearing reports he's out there training with Usyk and the team, trying to pick up something, trying to rediscover something.
That's very strange, Paul.
Live in a crazy world where Anthony Joshua and Jake Paul is a fight that's being discussed. Your old mate. I mean, look, like you almost say, opportunity knocks, the money presents itself. We know AJ's only got a year left of his career. I find it nuts how we were talking about the fight with your brother, and now we sit here in a position where AJ could be fighting Jake Paul. What do you make of it all, Tommy?
Well, let me just say this. Obviously, money's a very powerful thing in today's world. But if it goes past 2 minutes of the opening round, I will take that in AJ's been paid off. And I think it's going to take a lot of money for that to happen. And if it does, I think it will be very, very upsetting for everybody. But you can't rule it out, because that's just where boxing is today. But if I can beat Jake Paul, then excuse my French, what the fuck is Anthony Joshua going to do to Jake Paul? I think my dad said that AJ could beat him with his prick, and I completely will back that up. Even if AJ had a broken arm in there, it still wouldn't go past a minute. There's no, to be quite honest with you, and as a safety aspect, there's no way that fight can go ahead if one of them's not paid off. Listen, it's going to take a lot of money, but AJ could be paid off to not throw a punch for 8 rounds. I wouldn't know.
I see your old man do an interview with IFL, and he was like, AJ, look, please, whatever you do, do not let them pay you to take it.
I pray not. I pray not. But at the end of the day, my God, how good does it make me look? Huh?
Yeah, but you try and challenge him for a world title
if he gets beat by Jake Paul, that automatically makes me 2-time heavyweight champion of the world, doesn't it? Because my God, there's no proper way. I've got to laugh about it. How are we even talking about this?
There's been some talk about possibly Joshua using Jake Paul as a tune-up to fight you. What are your thoughts on that?
I don't know about tune-up. I think Jake Paul knocks him out.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Why so? What impresses you about Jake Paul?
I just think Jake Paul would knock AJ out. I think AJ's a spent force, and I think Jake Paul's on the rise. And I like his new heavyweight look. Bit chubby, bit bulky.
Anthony Joshua linking up with Oleksandr Usyk for Jake Paul prep has the whole boxing world doing double takes. 1 minute it sounded like a publicity matchup, and the next it turned into a storyline nobody expected. Joshua sharpening his tools with the man who beat him, all to get ready for YouTube boxing's biggest disruptor. Now MMA experts are firing off takes, some calling it a mismatch, others warning not to overlook the destruction Jake brings. Either way, the predictions are rolling in fast, and the hype's only getting louder. Let's get into it.
My brother is fighting Anthony Joshua. The experience difference, Anthony Joshua's a former heavyweight champion who's knocked out heavyweight champions. Quite the undertaking for Jake. What do you think is going to happen?
Expedition.
Oh, they're going to go on an expedition.
Is that a thing?
Exhibition.
Exhibition.
Dude, if Jake goes to a decision and loses a decision to AJ, I think that's a win. That's a massive win.
Yeah.
If he goes out there, goes 8 3-minute rounds with Anthony Joshua.
And Joshua's not just sharpening up anywhere. He's fully stepped away from London's noise and linked up with Usyk's squad in Spain. He made it clear he's no longer working under Ben Davison for this one, choosing instead to immerse himself in the same system that shaped one of the sport's most accomplished technicians. Joshua says the sessions have been brutal brutally demanding but eye-opening, giving him a front-row look at how a champion like Usyk is built. For him, the whole experience has been tough, humbling, and exactly the kind of reset he wanted heading into December 19th.
And are you still being trained by Ben Davison, Lee Wiley? Will Ben be in your corner on the 19th of December?
So no, I won't be trained by Ben Davison. I said that London's a bit distracting for me. So I was invited to train with Team Usyk. So I've been in Spain. We've been doing some good training out in Spain. And I think he's one of the best in the world. Not I think, he is one of the best in the world. And it's not all down to him, it's also down to his team that's around him. So I linked up with them, and getting an insight to how someone who's achieved so much, it's been phenomenal, man. It's been a great experience.
Joshua also addressed the big question, no, he's not sparring Usyk. Usyk's been shifting between training spots and is currently working elsewhere, so their sessions haven't crossed. Still, being inside that system and learning from the team behind him has become a key part of Joshua's prep.
No, it's not a secret.
Are you sparring with Usyk?
No, I don't spar with Usyk.
Okay.
Usyk's, he's training somewhere else at the minute, but he's been in camp, but he's in and out of camp.
Okay.
So right now he's training somewhere else.
And all that context feeds right back into why Joshua stepping toward Jake Paul is such a wild twist for the sport. Even on Rogan's podcast, when Joshua's name came up, his pedigree, his power, the way he handled Francis, and the conversation instantly turned to what someone could possibly do differently against a guy like that. Francis didn't point to errors or excuses. He said the work was solid and the discipline was there, then teased that fans would still get the moment they've been waiting for. And that's exactly why this matchup with Jake has experts buzzing, because stepping in with Joshua isn't just another fight, it's stepping into the same fire even the elite talk about with caution.
Anthony Joshua, Jake Paul. Anthony Joshua, Olympic gold medalist, former heavyweight champion of the world. What he did to Francis Ngannou, do you want that smoke? One of the biggest one-punch KO artists. What would you do differently if you could do the Anthony Joshua fight again?
That's the problem. We did everything right. I fought Stipe. I could make a whole list of what I did wrong, what I could have done better. But here, we were very disciplined. We did everything. And
let me tell you what, everybody's going to get what they've finally been waiting for.
Dominic Ingle weighed in too, saying the answer for Joshua isn't about copying Usyk's style or trying to fit into someone else's blueprint. Ingle argued that AJ needs to lean into what makes him dangerous, fix the parts that have slipped, and stop searching for some magic formula outside himself. He pointed out that McCracken understood Joshua from the ground up in a way no new trainer can instantly reproduce, and that chasing fresh corners can sometimes be more about the payday than the fit. Ingle's take, AJ already has the ingredients to be his best version. He just has to tap back into them.
You've got to find the belief in yourself, not in somebody else's system. You know what I mean? It's like Usyk's team might show him bits and bats of stuff. He doesn't box like Usyk. Can they train AJ to be similar to what Usyk's doing? AJ, you've got to pick out the best of what AJ does, and you've got to pick out the worst and improve the worst in him. And I'll say it time and time again. For me, the best trainer he ever had was Robert McCracken. It might not be what people want to hear, but he had him from the stages in the amateurs, from being a young mind, brought him through, guided. He had a good view of what the competition was out there, where to put him, you know, where to maneuver him, when to take fights, when not to take fights. And he'd invested a lot of time in him, Robert McCracken. So it was a payoff. Now when you go to, you know, if AJ came here or he goes to Ben Davison, or you're going to be in for a big payday as a trainer. It's a lot of responsibility to take on. You know, Ben Davis is a good trainer. He's trained AJ for so many fights, brought him back. He'll have got paid handsomely. Everybody wants to train AJ because it's a good payday. So, but sometimes you have to think to yourself, are you capable of training that fighter? You know, people have come to me wanting me to train. I said, to be honest, we're not going to match. You know, but I want to do what I want you to do is not going to work. So I just think AJ is looking for that secret ingredient, and it's just within yourself.
On the other hand, in Logan Paul's vlog, Daniel Cormier didn't hold back on his first reaction to a potential Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua fight. His response was blunt and clear. This is a risky, even wild idea. DC explained that if Jake actually faces Joshua with no limitations or special rules in place, it's an incredibly bold move and one that deserves recognition. According to him, stepping into that kind of ring takes serious guts, and he's ready to give Jake full credit for the sheer audacity of even attempting it.
In the UFC, I gotta ask him what he thinks about my brother fighting Anthony Joshua. Dude, it's real. It's real.
There's got to be some rules in place for Anthony not to.
Dude, I don't think there's rules.
Come on.
I swear to God.
I keep telling people this, right? And this is where people fucking up, especially these MMA dudes. I keep saying, stop treating Jake like he's not a boxer.
Yeah.
It's been 5 years now of pure boxing with great coaches and great training partners. He's gotten a lot better.
He's gotten a lot better.
He can fight, man.
Yeah, but what about Anthony Joshua, man?
That's bad, bro.
Hey,
Laura was like,
you say that like that.
Because, bro, like Francis went and fought him.
Bro, I said, Jake, did you see what he did to Francis? He's like, Francis is light work too.
Here's also, oh my God. Yeah, he is kind of crazy. Francis wasn't training boxing at the level.
Sure, yeah, we get it.
Because I would imagine if Jake gets hurt, he knows how to hold like a boxer. Because in boxing, you know, you got to go clinch when you get hurt. Francis was kind of like just standing there. Listen to me right here. Let me tell you this. He fights Anthony Joshua with no parameters in place. Y'all better give Jake Paul his credit. Yeah, I will, because that's fucking, it's brave.
And then Chael Sonnen came in and broke down a key question. Is Jake Paul daring or simply outmatched? He argued it all hinges on the rules. How many rounds, how long each lasts, and what actually counts as a win. Sonnen pointed out that Joshua will come in fully aware, ready to impose his will, just like he did against Francis Ngannou, leaving no room for error. For Sonnen, even lasting into the early rounds or making it to the fourth could be seen as a small victory for Jake, but the fight will ultimately test whether confidence alone can stand up to a seasoned heavyweight.
So is Jake brave or stupid? Well, what are the rules? That's the first thing that I would have to ask you. What are the rules? And we as a society need to collectively get together and agree. Joshua's going to come after him. Joshua needs to get him out of there because Joshua's aware of these rules as well. Joshua's aware I can't go 2 rounds with Francis and go 3 rounds with Jake. I can't do that. I've got to come in here, defend boxing, defend myself, get my paycheck exactly like I did do against Francis, which was a complete squash match, which the community ahead of time said it was going to be and did everything to disparage Francis Ngannou, and they only did that on the outside chance that Francis was going to overperform like he did with Tyson Fury. Community's got to get together and decide what these rules are. I think a very good place to start, and I will go first, is time and rounds. And I think if Jake sees 3 completed rounds, if he sees the beginning of the 4th round, that right there is a victory.
However, Sean O'Malley didn't hold back on just how intense this potential matchup is. As a friend of Jake, he admitted he's genuinely scared. Getting knocked out by someone as massive as Joshua isn't just a career risk. It can have serious, lasting effects on your brain and your life. O'Malley called it downright insane that Jake is even willing to step into the ring, underscoring just how high the stakes are in a fight like this.
Yeah, this is I mean, this fight as a friend of Jake is like, I'm scared. Yeah. Like, dude, these are like getting knocked out by someone like that changes lives. It doesn't change just your career path. It doesn't go, maybe I don't box. It can change lives. It can change the way you think. Getting knocked out, bad concussions are scary. Your brain, you have one fucking brain. And if he's willing to go out there and fight, and like, that is absolutely fucking insane.
Building on that, Brendan Schaub added his perspective, pushing back against anyone underestimating the challenge Jake faces. He stressed that Joshua isn't just a big guy, he's an Olympic gold medalist, a world champion, and a highly skilled professional. Schaub pointed out that it's not about size or muscle. This fight is a test of skill. Throw in 10-ounce gloves and 8 3-minute rounds in the heavyweight division, and the stakes become even more terrifying. If the fight isn't fixed, Schaub warned, there's zero margin for error.
Now, what bothers me is when you and other people go, I mean, Jake's 6'1", 227. I mean, it's insane. The other guy's 6'6". Jake could be 6'10".
I know.
300 pounds of shredded. What you guys are missing the mark on is Anthony Joshua is a gold medal winner in the Olympics.
And high level professional. High level.
No, hold on. World champion. So I don't like it when we're talking like, dude, you know, he's
it's not a physical thing, bigger. It's a skill thing.
So I'll say this, and I'm not saying it's a fake fight, it's rigged, especially because you got Eddie Hearn involved, and they're using 10-ounce gloves,
10-ounce
which is a
gloves.
big deal, and it's
Oh
8
my
3-minute rounds. 10-ounce gloves.
It's terrifying.
Well, that's what you do in professional boxing, heavyweight boxing, which those do nothing, by the way.
They do nothing.
What you guys need to understand is, if this fight's not fixed, no one's taking a fall, cut all that narrative out.
Schaub went even further, breaking down just how one-sided this could get if Joshua treats it with the focus he did against Francis Ngannou. He clarified he doesn't expect AJ to approach it like an Usyk or Klitschko level fight, just applying his usual professional intensity. Even with that, Schaub said the fight would likely be over within 30 to 60 seconds, leaving Jake with almost no chance to escape serious damage. He emphasized that if the bout stretches into multiple rounds without Joshua dominating, it would be a huge surprise, underlining just how brutal this matchup could be.
But I will tell you this. If Anthony Joshua decides to take this as serious as he did the Francis Ngannou fight, I don't need him to take it as serious as an Usyk fight. I don't take him as serious as fighting Klitschko. That's insane. It's literally impossible to take something like this that serious. If he takes it as serious as he did the Francis, which isn't that serious for him, but if he takes it as serious in his same approach, if we're in the real world and he takes it serious, this fight should not go longer than about...
Adding to the conversation, Tyrone Woodley offered his perspective on Jake versus Joshua. He pointed out that Jake has lost his mind before taking on risky fights, switching to pro boxing and chasing bigger challenges, but emphasized that there's a huge difference between confidence and facing a world-class boxer. Woodley noted that the only time Jake has truly been tested was against someone who boxed him seriously. In his view, Jake's chances will ultimately depend on which version of Joshua steps into the ring, the disciplined, sharp professional or a more relaxed off-guard fighter. Continuing his take, Woodley addressed whether Jake even has a shot. He reminded fans that he's made bold calls before, like calling Jake's fight with Anderson evenly matched and stirred controversy. This time he was clear, Joshua is the superior boxer with more power and skill. Still, Woodley stressed that it's not entirely impossible for Jake to pull off a win. The window is narrow, but if everything breaks his way, there's at least a chance. Whereas Ezekiel Adamu weighed in with a mix of doubtfulness and curiosity. He admitted that modern boxing is often driven by money, making it hard to predict fights like this. His gut feeling, Joshua could finish Jake within a minute, but he also acknowledged Jake's speed and movement, predicting that Paul will try to frustrate AJ by circling and keeping the pace tricky. Despite the mismatch, Adamu said he's excited and plans to watch closely, eager to see how it unfolds. So, what's your take? Will Anthony Joshua steamroll Jake Paul, or could Jake actually surprise us and snatch an upset? We've heard from experts, fighters, and analysts, but now it's your turn. Drop your thoughts in the comments, tell us who you're backing, and don't forget to hit subscribe so you stay up to date with every reaction, breakdown, and update leading into this massive showdown.